Erosion. So what is erosion? Erosion is the process that stones, rocks, and soil and dissolved material is carried away by wind or water. It works at the same time with weathering, which we'll talk in another of our videos. So weathering just goes like hand in hand with erosion. A good day-to-day example of that is your soap. You're wondering, what does soap relate to erosion? So when you're on that water and you're washing your hands, when you're still leaving that water on and the soap is there, then the water is taking small pieces off from the soap, and it loses and it's getting eroded by the water. So when the water comes down and collects the tiny pieces of soap, that's weathering. And when the water goes and take it into the drain, that's already erosion. So weathering makes a mess and erosion cleans up the mess. But there's something else that comes into weathering and erosion. It's called deposition. Deposition is taking down those rocks that erosion have cleaned up, that is in the packer. Then deposition just takes it, throws it in the dustbin, and that dustbin is an ocean or a lake. So that's how they work together. So another large example that you Americans like to use is the Grand Canyon in Arizona. And the Grand Canyon was formed by water and air. So the Grand Canyon first looked more like a complete high rocky terrain until water found a little hole. When the water found a little hole, it froze in the cold nights of Arizona, and then it started breaking up that area. Slowly by slowly, it made this whole gap. And it also called its friend Mr. Wind and some of its favorite snow friends to help it, as they have broke the Grand Canyon in how it looks today. So the water that helped the Grand Canyon to be how it is the Colorado River. The Colorado River had most of the water, and that water went into that hole inside the area and spread until it made the whole gap and made the Grand Canyon in Arizona. So, speaking more about erosion and less about the Grand Canyon. So erosion just picks the mess up, that's what we have learned. But now, how does erosion pick this mess up? So let's go to the beach to teach you how to do this. So it's a demonstration of erosion at the beach. So you know when you go to the beach and then suddenly water waves touch a part of the sand, and when you stand on that sand, it's softer than the normal sand that hasn't been touched by the water. And so when that happens, some teensy sediments of the sand enter the water, and the water takes it back. And soon that water will join with the ocean. That's already erosion. And sometimes erosion can be really amazing. And sometimes erosion is just an everyday to-day life. So don't think that erosion, you could just pour water on the ground and it will erode the ground just in seconds. No. That's not true. That takes millions and millions of years to happen. Like it will take you 100,000 years to just make two small holes inside the ground by using erosion. So that means erosion is efficient and slow. So another thing to make you not think about eroding everything away just to make a hole in the ground. No. Plus, erosion is another problem that we have with our roads. Sometimes the rain rains heavily that it makes erosion into the roads and streets. That's why you see some holes in the street. So now let's see some examples of erosion. Mammoth Cave, Blue Grotto Cave, and Fingal Cave. These are all examples of things that have been shaped by erosion. So sometimes plants grow in the wrong places, just like on cliffs, where sand is more likely to fall down due to gravity. But there is one trick that plants have up their sleeve. With their roots, they don't know that they are holding the soil to make sure that they can get lots of nutrients from that soil that is limited. To be more precise, up their roots. So they are using their roots just like tiny little fingers that are holding the soil to make sure that the soil won't fall off, because they're using the soil to live. In one way, they are helping the soil to not really have so much changes by erosion, and in another way, they are making the process of erosion faster on the soil. So they are doing a thing good for the soil and doing something bad for the soil at the same time. So the reason why we said that they are doing something bad for the soil is that they are cracking the stones or rocks in the soil. When they are seeping their roots through to look for food, they are breaking rock, and the rock is being broken by their roots. So this is already breaking of the rock. That's why we also said that it's breaking rock and it's speeding erosion, and it's also helping erosion to slow down. And in some cases, trees can become too extreme. Some trees even grow their roots till the end of the soil, and then the more rocks in the soil get broken down into soil. So this soil that we are using to plant our food and grow our food is being just eroded away. So in order for us to just understand how erosion works, we have to just go to the little mini erosions in our house. So example is soap, just like we said just a minute ago. That anytime you wash your hand with soap, you're making the soap smaller and smaller. Just like when you're sucking on a lily pop and it becomes smaller and smaller, because you're just taking teensy tiny bits of the lily pop every time when you suck it until it finishes and the sweet part goes away. So it's like Mother Nature is using water and sometimes ice and air to lick our outside world and jumpstart erosion. So the three main forces that cause erosion are water, wind, and ice. Water is the main force that causes erosion on Earth. So we have come to the end of this video. Please subscribe and ring the notification bell. Stay home, stay safe, have fun. Bye guys, and have a happy day.